Hi, Julie Torrance here. Well, I am going to be doing this kind of second part of making labels. This is a totally different way of making labels that I learned, and I'll talk more about it as we go, but the first thing I needed was some cardstock. I don't have, this is cardstock that is from me that I made. I didn't make the cardstock, but I printed the design. Same as this. This is another design I made, printed it up on some cardstock. Had those left over. Then I was digging. I don't have that much scraps of cardstock. I looked, lots of paper, not scraps. This is a 12 by 12. I know you can't see it all, and I already cut it. And I cut it so that it would fit. And this side, I think will be good for what we're doing. I'm going to try this side, but this was just something that I bought that I had to buy several. You know, it was a pack. So these are leftover, so I guess they're kind of scraps. But anyway, I'm on my little stamping pad that we're going to need. And then when I was looking for cardstock, I ran across this. Now, this came in a lot that I got from Whatnot. And I think they're like 5 by 7. Let me grab a ruler. Well, turn it the right way. No, they're not. So this is 4 by 5.5. And they're cardstock. And to me, this is designed for making cards. I am not a card maker. I make cards when I need them, but I'm not a card maker. So I'm going to set these aside. But I do have some of these embossing folders. So I took some of those that you just saw, and I ran them through the embossing folder. Now, if you don't have an embossing folder, don't worry about it. But something I have, and I thought, okay, I'm going to take a look and see what these might do, for the cardstock component. So this is not my idea. This is from Margaret at 7 PLAZA, and I will link her. I got this label making idea from her, and it's totally different than I've made before. So I'm going to use her formula to start. And the first part is you need to be able to cut corners. I do have a corner cutter. If you don't, scissors works fine. And or a rounding corners. You can use that. But again, not mandatory. I've got a few little stamps. I've got some of these, which are these little peg stamps. And I got this little stamp that has typing, just small. I was thinking small for this project. All right. Now, her formula, I'm going to bring up my trimmer. You can use scissors. You don't need to have a trimmer. I'm just going to use a trimmer because, number one, I have it. And number two, I believe that it makes things go a little bit faster. All right, so these I'm setting aside because that's my own twist. But these, we need strips that are 1.5 inch wide by 3 inches long. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the 1.5 inch. So here's 6, 5.5. Why did I do that? Why do I think that's right? That's not right. Okay. 3.5. Yeah, let's do that. 3.5. And another one. 3.5. Okay, I'm going to set the rest of those aside. And I'm gonna kind of do the cutting all at once. All right, this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock that I printed on. I'm gonna get rid of this white border. And now I'll go ahead and do some of this 3.5. And let's get 2 of those. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty well myself. Set this one aside and 2 of those. And now this one I have printed on 2 sides. Again, it was for a project that I ended up not doing. So I'm gonna do 3.5. And 1 more. I'm going to do this side. Do you see what I mean? Where there's some more writing on it. 3.5. Okay, and I'm going to set this one aside. Okay, now, what does that equal? Hang on. I'm trying to keep a little bit organized so that I'm not saying to you, I don't know where I put it. I'll still say that. All right, now, these need to go 1.5. So 1.5. And you know what? I'm going to cut off my signature. Not that I'm not proud, but I just don't think it works for this particular application. All right, now 1.5. One and a half. Don't know if there might be too much white in this. I'm going to go this way so that I'm getting more color. Okay, 1.5. I'm going to set this piece aside. And I've got the same thing going on here. But let's go with the yellow. 1.5. The weather was so nice this morning. I had my patio door open so that I could hear the fountain outside. But it's going to get warm, and I can feel it's already starting to climb, even though it's, I think today is September 16. Let's get another 1.5. If I'm off on some of these, I'm sure you'll pick up on it. You might not be able to. I'm sorry. Oh boy. I'm sure I'll hear about that, but got you as close as I can so that I can get the, the smaller work in focus. All right. And this one. 1.5. Oh, yeah, I'm going to cut the white off. Here's just lots of white. Can I get my hand in there? Oh, for heaven's sakes. There we go. Sorry. All right, 1.5. And 1.5. I think these will look cool, but we'll see. 1.5. And Margaret had florals, she had botanicals, she had little fine writing, all kinds of different things. So when we use inspiration, and I mean, this is more than inspiration. I'm using her formula. Okay. All right. Did I get them all? Let's do, I didn't do any of these. So we'll do some of these 1.5. As we do things like this, they're never the same. And that's a good thing. But, all of the papers and scraps that I have are my taste. Now this paper, I was helping my friend Robin and we made Valentine's. So that's what that was all about. That's 1.5, and I don't think this one is. Yeah, no. Okay, that's fine. All right. If I need more, I can always cut more. All right, now, look, more than you thought, huh? This always is. When I was cutting out yesterday, all of the labels that we had made, I was surprised at how many I had to cut out. Okay, so I've got 3, and I'm going to use the medium. And I'm just going to pop these in. I am not going to do this whole stack right now in front of you. I'm as conscious as you are how boring that would get. But we're going to do a few just so that you can, you know, kind of get the idea. Thank heavens for a vacuum cleaner, huh? These are going everywhere. Let's pick a different one again. Okay. And a different one again. So far, they all feel like they're 1.5 by 3. I don't have a rogue one. Did I do one of everything this way? Okay. And one more. Now, I will do the rest of these on my own, but once I get them done, I'll come back. But before I start that, let's take these. So now, just so you can kind of see what they look like. Alrighty. Oh, I am just covered in these little triangles. Okay, now the next step, and if I was doing this without you watching, I would be finishing this stack, but I am going to grab my ink, and I've got my Tim Holtz colors, but it is the archival. And I'm going to ink all the corners, and I'm going to go in with my ground espresso because I do want them a little bit darker. From what I see, I don't have, what do people use? Scorched earth, or I don't know what they use. There's another color that a lot of people use when they want a little bit darker. I'm going to do both sides because I don't know on these that are two-sided which side I'm going to use, and I just want them all available. I'm trying to think of the name of that color. Now, see, that's going to make me crazy. Anyway, this isn't quite that dark, but it's definitely darker than Vintage Photo. I like this 4-way because I like having all 4 colors at hand. And the colors in this is Hickory Smoke, Ground Espresso, Black Soot, and the Vintage Photo. And I do have all 4 of the archival refills. And I've been using this thing for years, and I just love it. But I do, this one, I already kind of got both sides, and besides, it's plain. Here's another one that has 2 sides. I do a lot of mixed media. I do a lot with other mediums like gel medium and watercolor and acrylic. And so if I'm going to do stamping or inking, I really would like oh, I put that in the wrong stack. I really would like it not to move. So that's why. I also find for me, especially when I'm stamping on something a little bit plasticky like acrylic paint, it will take the ink. I have to let it dry for a minute, but it will take the ink, whereas I've not used the distress inks, but some of the other inks that are not permanent, they kind of bubble up. Okay, this is what they look like inked up. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut the corners off of these, and I'm going to ink them up. Ink is on. So some of them are double-sided and some aren't, but let's go on to the next step. You've seen these. On we go. Okay, next step is paper scraps. So I've got some paper scraps, different kinds. Hang on. Here we go. Got some here. It's not all. This is one that we made together, and this is paper. This is scrap. This is from a catalog, but it's paper. Let's start with those, but we'll keep going. You need a variety of paper. At least that's how it felt to me. Now, this might be too soft. I'm not sure, but we're going to give it a try. So now, if you remember, it was 1.5 by 3. So instead, I'll try not to miss including you here. Okay, so instead of 3, we're going to go 2. That's 2.5. We're going to go 2 1/4. Okay, does that seem right? All right, let's do a couple of these. 2. Wait a minute. I think it's supposed to be 2 3/4. You can see I did 2 3/4. Yay. All right. 2 3/4. That kind of moved. All right, 2 3/4. And I'm just going to set it aside. And then instead of 1.5, we're going to go down. See, it was 1.5. Is that what we did? Why doesn't that not feel right? Hang on. Can I even fit it in there? Okay. This is, 1.5. So it's going to be 1 1/4. It feels smaller to me than what we were dealing with, but let's just see. Okay, 1 1/4. Done. Fiddly. 1 1/4. Done. All right, now, I don't think all the paper is going to be quite that fiddly, but like this piece, I need to straighten. Okay, so we need this to be, let's see, can I do 1 1/4? At least for part of it. But now that's the wrong side out. All right, what am I doing? This way? 1 1/4. I think so. All right, 1 1/4. Put that over here. And now this is going to be 2 3/4. It moved. Okay. 2 3/4. Ooh. Okay. Do I have 2 3/4? No. All right. That's all right. We'll do one more. I've got this. It's paper. And let's go with 2 3/4. And now 1 1/4. I'm still just working with paper here. 1 1/4. It was a watercolor that I printed. Do I have enough for 1 1/4 here? The finger guard. 1 1/4. Yay. All right. And I want to get a different kind of paper. Like this. This is that map. So let's get in here and cut off the white. Most of the white. And now, let's see, turn it around. I'm going to just take this off, right? Like it's not scrappy enough, but here we go. All right, now I'll square this up. This needs to be 2 3/4. Wow. Okay. And now we want to go 1 1/4. And 1 1/4. One more. 1 1/4. Now, I don't even know how many of those other pieces that I have, but let's just work with this, and then I can move on when you're not looking. Okay, so these are all paper, and they're all 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. Same thing. And you want this corner to round, or cutting off the corner or rounding the corner, you want it the same as your larger ones. So what I want is more triangles all over my house. And trust me, by the end of the day, these are going to be in the bathroom. These are going to be in the kitchen. Yep. Even just walking to get the vacuum cleaner to clean them up, I'm going to be everywhere. I'm going to take both of these and see if I can cut them together because they're so soft. I just don't think they're going to want to work quite right in this. So we'll see. I want the medium one, this one. Huh. They're not quite exactly the same. They're close enough. There. We made this out of packing paper. And because, oh, look at, I missed one. I had received some Amazon, and Amazon had their packing tape decorated. And I thought, oh, we can decorate some. Okay, got those two done. Not sure it saved time, but that really wasn't my goal. My goal was to have the paper not be so soft that the chomper couldn't chomp it. Is this double-sided? No. Okay, let's grab a different one. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. It's so dark, but we'll see, right? Okay, and one of these. Did I do any of these yet? Not even sure. Okay, I'll finish these up when you're not looking. Let me just get rid of a few of these. Confetti. All right, where am I at? Not done, not done, not done. All right, so these we're going back to this, and I am going to go around and ink all of these. Now, I know this is repetitive. Maybe you're even thinking it's a little boring, but you know what? It's these touches that make the difference. They really do. It's these fine details. This is the little sparkly Swarovski crystals that are in the buttons of your favorite dress. The pearls that you sew on a wedding dress. That's what this is. This is that special. And this is what makes things, instead of people saying, oh, I can make that, they're going to say, how did you make that? How did you do that? Because, ooh, look at that. Because all these little details, they add up. It's just like an orchestra. Now, because I did so much right there, I'm going to just do so much, or at least more, here and there on that one. Now, this one might be a little bit harder, because again, it's soft, but I think it'll be fine. I love that paper. I hope you do. Can you see? I'll tell you, it's a rubbing your stomach, patting your head moment when you're trying to figure out where to put your camera so that people can see what you're doing, both large-wise and close-up. Okay, well, I got all those done. I mean, I still have a few more, but we can go on to the next step, right? What I am going to do is just knock off some of these inking crumbs. All right, there we go. Okay, so then next step, I'm going to just pull out a couple of these. Variety. It's a music note one. And I got a yellow. How about floral? Okay. And then we're going to be gluing these on top. Just like that. Okay? Now, that looks wrong. Hers did not have that big of an edge. What did I do wrong? I don't know. It was supposed to be from 3 to 2 3/4. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. 2 3/4. Well, what's this? Oh, it's 3 1/2. Why did I do that? Sure enough. Well, you know what? I'm still using them. Okay. But really, hers looked more like that. But to get mine in the middle, but I don't care. I mean, I like it. I'll probably end up eventually making both kinds. I'm getting out a piece of scratch paper that I can glue. She recommends using glue stick so that you can line things up, and I think that's a good idea. So let's get some glue stick on here. Kind of center. Good? What do you think? Good? Okay. Let's take another one and a paper one. I guess I'm doing a how not to craft, huh? Sorry. I didn't mean to do that, but Sometimes that's the way things go with me. All right. I still have a empty spot here. Not bad. Okay, one more? Sure. I don't think I have a large music note one yet. And then paper. Okay. I don't know why I feel like I need to audition it. All right. Okay. I've got a couple more inked up. I'll be back. Okay, so I got more done, but I've got 6 out here on the paper that these are all the steps done. So I'm going to just pick them up and just save one. And so now the next step is decorating these. So I pulled out small ephemera, or I guess you would say embellishments. There's some butterflies. Here's some faux postage. Here's some little labels. So let's see what we can do with this. What do you say? All right. Now, I think I want a little bit of, on the order of newsprint type of thing. I've got this tiny little writing here. I am going to tear some of this off. Nice tore edge. Still might want that. And I think I'm going to put that there. Okay, and I think I'm going to ink it. Am I away from you? Sorry. Okay. And I'm going to get some paper too. This glue stick is getting a little bit stringy, and that's because it's getting near the end. So I'm going to switch it up to the Elmer's because I'm working small, so I can use small. Okay. Nice. Now, maybe a little label. I like that. Okay. Now, something with color. I'm looking at these faux postage. Here's 4 cars. Is that one? Feels thick. That's one. Too big. What's this? Snowflake? Nah, too specific. Cottage. Don't mind the cottage. Might like it better over here. Yep, okay. I'm gonna ink the edges of this. So can you see what we're doing? We're making labels that are like miniature collages. And I just think it's so fun. Oops, right side up. Good. And now maybe a colorful butterfly. Maybe a different colorful butterfly. Maybe not quite so pastel. Do I have bigger butterflies? What have I got over here? Whoa, that was loud. Sorry. I think these are animals and birds. Birds would be good. Like an owl. Okay. I need something easier to glue on. I keep using that same piece of paper. I know my desk is getting messy, but well, I do pick it up after each event. But this takes a lot of stuff. Okay. What do you think? Needs more. Needs more. Let's see. Maybe a little butterfly. Like this one. Okay. Yep. I'm liking that. Come here, butterfly. Come here. I know my fingers are already so gluey. And there is our little label. What do you think? I think this will look great in a journal. I hope you like it. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to set this done one off to the side. Hopefully I'll be able to find it when we're done. And let's do another one. What do you say? I like having this type of a thing. I think I cut this for another purpose, but so it goes. What do you think? Ink it up. See, one of the things that happens, and this is a good size of inker for me. It's another cosmetic sponge. My fingers still get ink on them, and then the glue pulls it off, and then I end up getting blotches that I didn't expect. So I'm trying so hard not to do that. I'm going to move it up a little bit like that. Okay. All right. Now, maybe a bigger label. I'm gonna ink it up. Can you see? It needs more ink. Okay, and now I'm gonna just light just a little bit there, just to get it not quite so stark white. And let's put this little label on there. It's these little touches. Yes? Okay. Something here. Now, coffee cup stamp. I like it, but I want to see what else I'm going to put with it before I decide. Bird. Cardinal. I don't mind cutting his tail off. I don't know. This isn't doing it for me. Put that away. I don't want to keep doing butterfly bird, but I'm kind of liking the thought of it here. Too big. I just like the bright colors of it. Here's a blue one. Okay. Let's glue the butterfly on. And I'm going to put the bird just a little bit closer. Yeah, okay. Now I am putting glue all the way down on the tail, but I know I need to trim it off. May need to trim that little branch off too. Okay, now, remember I said I've got those little stamps? Let's see what we can do. I've got these inks, and I can go with black soot. This is a 4-leaf clover. What have I all got? A moon, no. A flower, a lion, a deer. A deer in the background. Let's do that. Yeah, okay. And I'm going into black soot. One thing I learned about these, getting a little dust, gentle. And don't rock it around a lot. And just gentle. And now, gentle. Good. Yes, I like that. Good. Okay, we've got 2. We'll do one more. What do you say? And then you kind of, I would think, got the hang of this. All right, one more. This one? How about this one? I think this one is going to be the hardest, but it shouldn't be. Now, I'm thinking, instead of using that same paper, let me just see. I'm sure I've got some dictionary page nearby or something, book page. I haven't gone away. Book page. Okay. You know, a little different. It says project drawing. Maybe I'll put that at the bottom. So far, I'm not getting ink all over it in a weird way. Okay. Oh, that doesn't look right. This. Okay. Okay. And now, just some, see, like that. Okay, we'll save that. Maybe now, since I took that, I will go back to this and just take off some. Like that? Yeah, why not? Okay. Okay, too tall. And get rid of some white. Good. Ink. Still little touches. Good. All right, now another little label. I've got a circle one. I'm not sure which way it goes. I guess kind of like this. Nah. Nah. This one. I like that. Yes, I do. Okay. Ink. Oh, I almost grabbed glue. Okay. I'm over here gluing. Oh dear. Alrighty. Now, maybe that big butterfly. Still too big. Uh-huh. I like that. I am over here gluing, and I'm trying not to lose my project drawing. I don't even know if it's gonna fit. Over here, over here. Maybe over here. Scooch it down. Yes. Something here. What else is in here? It's just like some feathery trees. This one is a portrait instead of landscape shape. Let's see what that does for us. Yep. Good, good, good. These are almost like book plate, kind of. But I like them. I liked it when Margaret was making them. Project drawing. Okay, I love it. I'm going to just take a little of that off. Can I ink it? Can I let go of it? Ugh. Okay. And I wonder how I get so inky. I don't wonder. I love the irregularity of this tear. Do you know what? I thought I was losing my mind. It says the same thing on both sides. It was like one of those Matrix moments. I turned it over and I was like, wait a minute, I just turned it over. I'm way over here gluing, sorry. Think down a little. Uh-huh. Okay. Another one of these. I got one laying here. Oh, I kind of like that. Can you see how my glue is getting, it's warm. And the air conditioning just shut off. I mean, I have it set at 73, so. There's our project drawing. Okay, let's see what we've got. Let's move all this out of the way. So these are the ones that I haven't finished. And look, I've got this whole stack left to go. And yes, I know I made them the wrong size, but you know what? I'm liking them just fine. Okay, here, here, and here. Well, I think these came out fine. Let's give this a trim now that it's dry. I'm going to de-ink and de-glue my hands, and I'm going to finish these, and next time we get together, I'll show you, but I think you get the idea. Now, these are from 7 PLAZA, Margaret. Next time we get together, let's work on these, and let's see what kind of labels we can do with these embossed papers. What do you say? That'll be the next time we get together. Plus, I'll show you these. Well, I've got my work cut out for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, you are welcome to join our friendly group down here. A video is going to pop up just for you. I'm going to see you over there.